Good morning, everybody, and happy Harness Your Hump Day. I hope everybody's off to a good start. I'm only on coffee number one here, but hopefully many of you are off to many more. So last week, I did a Harness Your Hump Day on social media scams. And what I wanted to do was to give the option for many of you to reach out, and you did. And I decided based on that I would do another episode of this, just two. This is a part two of social media scams. Real quick, hold on just a second. Let me make sure that all my settings are good here. Try to make sure it said that. There we go. We'll give this a shot. Okay, so last week, just a quick review. I told you about the guy that won a lottery, and he wanted to give some of his winnings out, which was a complete scam. This week, what I wanted to do was talk to you about a familiar scam with a different delivery system. Now, I want to paint this picture for you because we always say, and myself included, how do these idiots, how do these nimrods, how do these people fall for this? I'm going to tell you, it is easier than what you expect because they prey on people at their weakest point, at their weakest moment. Now, remember, many times when we're on social media, a lot of us are at our weakest point. Sometimes we go there for validation. We're depressed. We're lonely. We're going there. So the social media scam I want to talk to you about today started on LinkedIn. Now, I have two very, very credible LinkedIn, not friends personally, but two LinkedIn that based on the content, based on interactions, I would say they were very educated, very smart, would never steer me in the wrong way. These two individuals sent me a link for some part-time work. People are always trying to get me to do stuff or if they need extra help. So this one was interesting because of the people that sent it to me. So I decided to click on the link, and it was a secret shopper. I was like, oh yeah, I remember this growing up. I know that there's secret shoppers, there's stuff out there. And not that I have a lot of time, I decided to go in and take a look at this opportunity. And everything seemed pretty legit. And based on the fact that these two credible people from LinkedIn sent it to me through LinkedIn. So as I'm going through this, I decide, you know what, I'm gonna check this out a little bit. So they're like, here's your assignment. If we choose you, we will send a check. And I knew right there, red flag, red flag. Nobody's just going to give you money. So as I'm going through this, I decided that, you know what, I'm going to play this out. And even though I just completed all the research on the last one, I'm going to plan this one out. So I get an email and a text because I do give that up. I don't give up any personal information like social security number, address, or, well, I guess I did give the address because they ended up mailing me a check. But so I go through this process, right? And it's amazing because I'm trying to go through the mindset of what a person would be thinking as they're going through this. And it seemed pretty legit. So I decided to give the information of just address and phone number, okay? I get a text and I get an email saying, you have been selected. And I'm like, oh, it's my lucky day. So I read the directions. And that's when, and they're pretty detailed, and the grammar is pretty good on them. Because remember from last week, I told you that one of the things you need to watch out for is improper grammar and verb usage. That's a red flag that it's a scam. So I did that, and they sent me an assignment, and they said, in 2 days, you're going to get a check. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Guess what? In the mail, after 2 days, this showed up. I open it to my surprise, and guess what? There is a check, which I will show you in just a second. So, yeah, priority mail, check. All right? Now, red flags going off everywhere for me. But for some people that are desperate, need money, are in a bad spot, and I think some of these people can prey on them if they look on their social media profiles. They can see, let's be honest, we're pretty open with where our responsibilities are and what we're doing. And how we're feeling. So they could probably prey off that even more. So I'm going to pull this up here. I get this check and I decide, you know what? I'm going to go to a local bank and I'm also going to go to to a police station, and I'm going to get some feedback and some tips on what to look for when you get this check. So that way you have an idea that you can train yourself and say, this is not right. All right, so I'm going to put this up here. I'm going to do something I haven't done before live. All right, so here's the check. All right. Now, many of you might pick out some things right off the bat, and that's great. But I want to point out some things here to you that the people at the bank and the police department kind of identified for me. And all these are in the tips in the content here. But the routing numbers don't match. Okay, they're flip-flopped, so they're out of order. So you have to think about that. Look up here at where it shows the bank, TD Bank. The people at the bank said they've never heard of anything like that. The banking industry, as big as it is, that put off a red flag for them. To them, this was an odd amount. Now, for business owners or other people, it might not be, but they said this amount looked odd. All right. The other thing is the check came with instructions. You would not have any instructions if you were given a check. Okay. The instructions that I received was I was to take $380, and I was supposed to keep that for me. Yay, that was mine. The rest needed to be distributed across 3 cards, gift cards like Best Buy, Walgreens, something like that. I needed to scratch off the code on the back, screenshot it, and send it back to them so I could receive my next assignment. So obviously at this point, I mean, I knew that this was a scam pretty much from the very first part. However, I didn't until I opened up the email that I was sent, or the link that I was sent, not an email, on LinkedIn through 2 credible people, okay? So I guess on that point right there is that we really need to be careful about what we're sending and sharing to other people. We definitely don't want to cause any grief or harm to someone else. The next up was the memo line. I did not catch this. If you look at the memo line, it is off place. It should be up in the blue area, and it is below. So that is definitely a red flag. This is something else I didn't know. There's no security on this check. When you hold this up to a light, you should clearly see, and sometimes you can clearly see it without the light. You should see the word void. It's very, very faint. So that alone right there is also a red flag. The check on here, I didn't show you because it's hard to see, but it's actually mailed from California, but the check was from New Jersey. Red flag. It also came priority mail, another red flag. And then again, the banking and the routing numbers were out of order. These people prey. They prey on the people that are receiving this stuff. Just remember that. So these are some tips I hope that you can share with your family members, with business owners. If it's too good to be true, I keep saying this, it probably is. We want to believe there are absolutely good and amazing people out there, but the fact is very few of them are going to just give us money. And if they do, they're not going to have requirements that go along with it. So this one was very interesting to me because of that, because of the fact that I received this from 2 credible people. And I think we're all guilty of sharing things sometimes. So just be careful. The other thing the bank tellers really wanted me to stress was that they're not trying to keep you from your money. They're trying to protect your money. That is so important to them. So please, even in those darkest down moments, remember that they're not trying to be disrespectful to you. So please let them do their job. These poor bank tellers, a lot of times they get yelled at and they get commented at that are just not appropriate things. So I hope you enjoyed Social Media Scam 1 and Social Media Scam 2. And then I'm going to, in the future, probably not next week. That's too many scams for me to mess with and research. But I hope that in the future you're able to protect yourself and someone close to you, family member, neighbor. And the other thing I asked the bank tellers was, is there a specific demographic that you're seeing? Is it all older people that are falling for this? And they said, no. These scams hold no socioeconomic demographic background whatsoever. None. Young, old, college student, all of them. So please be careful. And do the due diligence. And if that red flag or the spidey sense goes off, ask questions. Ask the bank ask the police department. All right. Okay. So guess what? Yeah, we've got some amazing events coming up. Inside Bill's Brain, an insider's perspective, is being put on by the LDP at SIU in the Student Center Ballroom. This is a Netflix 2-day event, and it's going to take over a 2-week period. The LDP, the Leadership Development Program at SIU, has put out the most amazing leaders in our community, student leaders in our communities throughout Southern Illinois, throughout the region, and throughout the United States. So this is going to be a special treat on this coming Monday, February 17th at 5:30, and it's also bringing in one of the I guess not business owners, but a person that was very close and worked with Bill Gates at Microsoft, and he is going to be here kind of dissecting a little Mystery Science 3000 theater here at the SIU Student Center ballroom. I mean, I cannot talk. Hold on a second. It's because I haven't had enough caffeine this morning. All right, next up, Jabe Burgess, one of the premier and upcoming Nashville. I know everybody says they're Nashville stars and artists, but this kid, and I'm 47, so I can call him a kid, is coming to the region at the Benton Civic Center, and the Benton Civic Center is absolutely amazing. They are doing some really cool events there, and if you haven't checked them out, you need to here. And the reason you're going to want to check out the Jabe Burgess concert on Saturday, March 7th at 7:30 is they are going to have the first ever inside of an event center beer garden. Yes, people, a beer garden. Yes, it will be stocked with beer, because you can't have a country concert without beer, right? Also, if you haven't, look up Jabe Burgess, great social media accounts, and again, great kid, great artist. Check them out. There is an event page link, and then check out the Benton Civic Center over in Benton. Next up, the Southern Illinois Wellness Expo on Saturday, March 21st, coming up very fast. Michelle Snyder, our executive director there. I do sit on the board with my friend and colleague and Kevin Huntsberger and many other board directors. This has been going on for many years. The goal is to educate and get screenings for men and women throughout Southern Illinois to help keep their life moving forward, keep it safe, and inform them on what they need to be focused on, because we want to keep everybody alive and ticking for as long as we can so they can be productive citizens throughout Southern Illinois. There's more information at the event link below. The Midwest Digital Marketing Conference. This will be my 4th year participating there. I am hosting, or I should say moderating, the panel on personal branding. Super excited. We've got a list of all-star panelists and industry leaders that I have known for a couple of years and for the first time. And they're going to give you personal branding tips, and it's going to be a great session. 2-day conference, one of the most affordable. Check that out. It's a lot of fun. And then I did not, my friend Gloria, I am so sorry last week. I totally forgot, and you asked me to plug and promote the free black lung screening going on in Murfreesboro. Many miners, this is a very big mining community, are suffering or are now getting the signs from black lung. There is a screening there, and they are a great resource to be able to help you with any of the services you might need through the Shawnee Health Service. So please share that with someone if you know or they need the information. It's a free black lung screening. It's in Murfreesboro. Should be good. And then finally wrapping this up this week for Harness Your Hump Day, BeaverCon, the Bloomington virtual reality conference coming up on June 1st and June 2nd. My buddy James Schride has chaired this. He is a champion. He is like a podcast. I gave him some tips and some resources, and this guy's going all out. He's got some great interviews with some great people about virtual reality, how it's going to be used in the education. It is for K through 14. It is going to be up at the Bloomington Ivy Tech College in Bloomington, Indiana. I will be there. I'm helping out, and just check it out. If you have any educators, please share that. Good morning, Gloria. Yes, and I know you've had a lot on your plate, but yes, you are very welcome, and thank you for being passionate and taking care of those in our community and throughout Southern Illinois. with their lungs. So everybody, if you enjoyed this episode of Harness Your Hump Day, please give us a review. There's a link. There's going to be a link. I'll repost it. Review us. Let us know. That helps our business out. And if you've got feedback, if you don't like these videos or they're a waste of your time, let me know, or you want something else, or just give me some tips of what you think I need to do. I want to get better, and I want to provide value for all the people that watch, because your time is precious. So as always, go out into the world, make someone or give someone a reason to I smile. And you know what? If you need us, Harness Digital Marketing is there to hashtag turn the light bulb on for your business organization. Goodbye, everybody. Have a wonderful Wednesday.